Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're well. It has been a long time since I've done a video. It's been about a month. And the reason why I did not make any videos recently is because there's sadness in my heart. I lost my mom on February the 19th of February. Yeah. And yeah, it's been a rocky road for the last month. I will spare you the details of everything in terms of what happened and why. It was not a huge surprise considering my mom had a stroke 3 years ago, and from that stroke she partly recovered, but in cognitively and in terms of health issues, she did have some problems, and it took away a lot of her freedom and her autonomy. And it was very distressing for her to be in some cognitive loss and in some autonomy loss, and that was very hard for her. And if I resume, basically the situation is that with the months, she stopped having any pleasure for life. She was barely eating. She was in full mode depression. It was very difficult for her. And we tried to be there as much as we could for her. But as we know, we cannot save someone. Only each of us can save ourselves. And I think that first unconsciously, but later consciously, my mom has somehow decided that she didn't want to live that life. She had lost almost all her activities that she loved, and my mom was very much into doing a lot of things, and that was very tough for her. And the confusion she was suffering from the effects of the medication related to her stroke, all of this had an impact of her just not wanting to be here anymore. And both of my parents, as I said in the last video, got the COVID flu, which in itself was not absolutely not the reason why my mom has passed away. Both of them quite recovered from it. But what basically happened is that my mom felt, being in her confusion, she felt trapped at home, not being able to come out of the house when she was in the confinement. And that was very difficult for her. And it was also for my dad, who was trying to explain that she could not go out in that period. And that was so tough for her that she completely ceased to eat and hydrate. And so she had to be hospitalized. And from then on, she just refused willingly, with all her, even in silence, but with all her body gesture, to refuse eating, to refuse medication, and to refuse hydration. So in a few weeks, obviously she had got so weak that that she went. So since then, I've been doing all these things with my dad, since I'm a lonely child, dealing with, you know, telling people about what happened, sending emails, the whole dealing with administrative tasks related to her departure, but also when she was in the hospital. So that took a lot of energy from us, but we're pretty much now kind of over with that, and we're gonna have the ceremony, the funeral ceremony, on the 19th of March, which will prevent, since the mandates for vaccine passports are going to be off by that, but March 16 we'll be able to attend the ceremony of my mom, because both my dad and I are not vaccinated and did not wish to, as my mom was not as well, and also to give us time to settle everything. So that's the news. What I wanted to share with you today is not so much lots of details about that, because it's more like personal stuff and it's not of any interest or use to you. But what I wanted to reflect on today was more about the healing and the grieving process that can accompany such a loss, and how I'm going through this. And I have to say, it's been a very strange experience for me, because my mom and we had a very strong relationship, which was very, how can I say, um, in a way very difficult, and in a way very loving and on the same level. So lots of parts of my mom I find in me, and lots of parts in me were in her. And that sometimes made it difficult, because you know how it is when we see a reflection of ourselves in someone else, and often when it is a parent, we tend to be in reaction and in a resistance to that part of ourselves, which we sometimes don't want to accept or agree or see or deal with. And so in that way, my mom was not a bad person at all. She was a vibrant, free soul, very, very curious about many things, really a lover of arts and music and dance and singing and cinema and images and iconography. And in that way, we were very, very similar and close in terms of sharing. But we had different values in terms of, we have similar values such as freedom and liberty to do what we want, and being very like dreamers and imaginative people. But in other ways, we were different in the sense that we had set different priorities. For me, it is very important to be responsible for my actions and for my happiness. And what I have felt from my mom for many, 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 many years, and mostly in the last years, was a form of, and I don't like the word, but a form of victimization, where she would perhaps not accept as much as she should have, the responsibility of her life, of her happiness, of her choices. Even in difficulty, we can choose to see the positive sides of things. And in the last years, my mom had a difficulty in trying to find the positive aspects of lives. And I understand why. She was going through a lot of difficult things, and it's totally understandable. But it was tough and heavy to be in a situation where everything was focused on the negative rather than on the positive. So that's been difficult for all of us. And also, I had a relationship with my mom, which was very, since I was a little girl, being an empath, I sort of decided unconsciously to respons make myself responsible for my mom's happiness, and correspond to her desires, and that has made my adult life very difficult, because it was a challenge to always be someone that I wasn't, but mostly to make someone happy who perhaps did not always choose to be happy herself. And that was putting myself a lot of pressure. And I only put the responsibility on me of having chosen that. And I think this was a soul contract. As you know, probably, I believe in reincarnation. And I believe that my mom and we had this contract where she would not impose, but just by being what she is or what her needs were, that made me choose a certain path in which I would try to always make her happy, or always try to be the person she wanted me to be for her, and feeling extremely guilty and trying always to be like a people pleaser, and feeling guilty when I was not able to please that person or to make that person happy. And that really was a big struggle in my life, my whole adult life. So I have to say that my mom's passing has been tough, it's been difficult, but to be quite candid with you, it was a relief in a way, because not only because she was suffering so much in the last months, she didn't want to be here anymore, she didn't want to eat, she didn't have an appetite for food and for life and for everything that she loved to do before. So seeing her go was tough, but it was also a relief to see her find a new form of freedom in her soul, and just go and meet her loved ones up there and everything. And it was also a form of relief for me, because my mom, as much as I love her, our relationship was hurting me in many ways, and it was preventing me from actually entirely living my life, to embrace my all of my gifts, all of my freedom and liberty to perhaps have a partner in my life. Um, all of this was unconscious, but a lot of things were there. And with my mom's passing, I feel a lot of things are opening in my life. I feel much more connected now to who I really am, more sovereign, more free in a way, and more ready than ever to jump into life and dream my life and live my life and savor it and be in the present moment and enjoy every possible experience I can live. And I want to do this with my mother in my heart, in the sense that I'm not attaching myself to her, but I'm keeping her in my thoughts, in my heart. And in that way, I can live my joy and live all my gifts. And and through that, she can live also these things through me, and show her that, I can be everything I want to be now. And I know she would have wanted me to be happy and to have someone in my life, and to be doing all the things I'm doing and that I want to do, and all my dreams. And so in a way, and I know that for my dad it's probably the same thing, we feel that it's a relief in a way for her, but also to experience life in a different way for each of us now. So, you know, I wanted to discuss this because I think it relates in some way to what we call shadow work. If you, well, everybody who's doing a spiritual journey, who has gone through the dark night of the soul, or anybody who's doing personal growth, knows that we have a shadow part in ourselves, and sometimes we don't want to see that shadow in us. We don't want to deal with it, or we put it, under the carpet. And I realize now, with my mom's passing, not that my mom was my shadow at all, because my mom was full of light also, and she was full of wonderful things, beautiful qualities, a beautiful person, beautiful soul. But it by some of her ways of living her life and her attitudes, she had created a form of we had created a relationship in which there was a shadow which prevented me from seeing my light. And I think that was the contract between my mom and I, was to her having this bad role. And sometimes we all have to play a bad role in someone's life, either as we leave a partner, or we do something to someone that can hurt them. And this is sometimes done unconsciously, but sometimes it is done in a way that we don't even know it sometimes, that in order to provoke in the other persons the opportunity to seize their light and to live their light. And I think that this is what happened between my mom and I. In a way, her needs and her attitudes toward life created a form of shadow in my existence, which was in a way an opportunity for me to grasp my light and to make it shine and to make it bloom. So as sad as I am that my mom left, and as sad as I am that all these years I've suffered from our relationship, in another way, I feel an immense amount of gratitude to my mother. And this is a big forgiving path for me. I feel a lot of forgiveness for all that she was and is, in a way, not only through her light, but also through her more shadowy aspects, which permitted me to find the light back into myself. And that I will be eternally grateful for. And that contract is something very precious. And I see it as a gift, and not as oh God, I've lost so many years. And, no, I don't see it that way. I see it as a gift, as something that has brought me a lot of healing, a lot of gratitude, and a lot of shadow work, which also gives me the opportunity now to really expand my life and really expand my light, and be there for others the way I still want to be, but not in a dependent, people-pleasing way, always, and feeling guilty all the time, but in a sovereign, free human being, strong, well, on a really strong basis, ready to live my life and do things the way I want them with all my liberty and freedom. So from all this, also from the last week, I've been in sort of vacation. I didn't do a lot of things in terms of creativity because I wanted to do all that healing process. But also, it permitted me, when I stopped all activities, to realize what I really wanted and what I was aiming at doing in order to unconsciously or consciously please people or be a people pleaser. And one of these things was my decision to become a coach. And that's something I had discovered, which is very interesting. But I realized that a part of me wanted to do this in order to unconsciously uh, sort of save others in the same way I would have wanted to save my mom, but was unable to through all these years. And I realized that. And this understanding was very important to me. It was like an important moment to realize that I'm not here to save anybody. I'm just here to bring to others all my light, the way humbly I do it, by my creativity, by my transmissions, by my harmonization. But I'm not here to save anyone. And I think that wanting to be a coach was a way for me to try to save people. And I don't think that would have been a good path. So I know I may seem like a person who keeps changing my ideas. I present you projects in my videos and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to have a tiny house for coaching. And then, a month later, things have changed and I'm not there anymore. And I think it's okay. I don't feel guilty about that. I don't find it bad to change my mind. I mean, we have a saying in French that says only crazy people don't change their minds. So I'm crazy. And well, I'm not crazy in the sense that I changed my mind. And I changed my mind not because I'm like an airhead, but because it's the result of a personal growth and journey of healing in my relationship with my parents, with my mom. And I realize now who I really am more than what I was trying to be for other people. So coaching is not going to be, for now at least, not a part of my projects or training anymore. I still want to do that project in the countryside, where I would have like a piece of land in the Nordic area, probably here in Quebec, and construct a small habitat on foundations, in which I would live with a partner eventually. If that happens in my life, not something that I'm actively looking forward at all, but if the right person comes in the right time. And also, I just, dancing is something that I've shared love with my mom. My mom loved dance, watching dance and dancing as well. And dance has been part of my life since as early as I can remember. And I feel that the healing energy I had from that whole process, with the grieving process with my mom, has liberated a lot of stuck energies in my body, in my soul. And I feel that my body needs to move again. I need dance much, much more. So this is something I like to integrate also more in my creative approach, but also perhaps in my videos. I'm not there yet. Perhaps I would need someone to film. Perhaps I would do something with a tripod in order to film some dancing. I'm really not there yet. And I think I would need more space, because here in this apartment, I live in a one room studio. So dancing is very limited in terms of space. So at some point, it will be something that develops more. So I'm going to go one step at a time here. But I just wanted to keep you posted on the changes that took place in my life recently, not only in terms of events, but also in terms of decisions and what I aim at and what I want to do. So I want to continue writing my prose in poetic prose. I want to continue doing these videos on tons of different topics, perhaps include dance not only in my life, but also perhaps in these transmissions. Continue harmonizing through doing my Japanese paper collage, harmonizing colors and tones and lines and shapes and abstract motifs. Continue photography. I want to travel now that this COVID pandemic is going to be over soon. Since you have noticed, they have replaced the sudden scandemic with a new scary thing to be fearful of, which is that fake Ukraine war, which is, for those people who actually take the time to search the real information, is not a real, it's not the war that the media are portraying, but I'm not going to go there again, right? I'll let you find your own information on these topics. But my point is that since all this COVID BS is soon to be over, we're going to be able to travel again and again. Thank God. I'm so happy I'm going to be able to not only visit my best friends all over the world, but also to travel and see Nordic countries and areas and make a lot of photography and videos that I can transmit through this YouTube channel, and doing some traveling journals by writing. So this is exciting projects. I have a lot of things to do and want to create. And I will also continue publishing my collages and photography on my Redbubble boutique for those who want to have prints of these creations. So I'm going to stop this video that's becoming very long. I just wanted to keep you posted on things, and I'm starting to do videos again. So I will probably be posting something in the next couple of days. I'll try to post whenever I feel inspired, a few times a week. And I will probably come up now with recipes, try to do more videos that are outside rather than just in front of this computer screen and with the same background. I'll try to make these videos more interesting, more alive, vibrant by going outside, showing you scenery, and doing things like that. So hopefully that's going to be fun for you as much as it is for me. And I'm going to leave you there. I invite you to like this video if this is something you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. You can comment. Comments are always welcome. I love your comments. And I invite you to visit my new website at abigaëllerichard.com, where you can find things posted there every day. It's a very living website. It's not like one of those boring ones where nothing happens. Every day I post things there, new things there. So I invite you to visit that. And I offer you all my gratitude for being in my life, for being subscribers and viewers of this channel, of these videos. It counts a lot to me, for me, and it's a pleasure to share everything that goes in my life with you. I'm just being candid, as you know. So this is it. I wish you a beautiful day. Take great care of yourself, and I send you much love. Bye.